Why is someone asking for a volunteer, and why are you the volunteer?
We see lots of friendships growing and blossoming, and people finding jobs, and people getting out of the house, and less tears and more laughter.
Find your space.
Just keep going. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Volunteer The Hague Talks. Our purpose here is to host honest, meaningful conversations that highlights the diverse perspective within our local community. We are dedicated to giving a platform to local leaders, sharing their real experiences, and inspiring our Hague audience towards local action. I'm your host, Laura Linga, and as a new resident and volunteer myself, I am thrilled to explore a vital question today. How do we ensure the exchange of value in volunteering is truly fair and respectful for everyone? It's that essential balance between the desire to connect, the need to protect professional worth. Today, I'm so excited to tell you guys that we have two excellent voices. First, representing the organizational structure and critical role of community connection, we have Deborah Valentine, Executive Director of Access. Deborah, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Next, representing professional standards and ethical needs of the creative industry, we have Ali, Director of Holland Park Media. Ali, thank you so much. So I wanted to start with, I'm curious, how did you guys get in here in the Netherlands, your journey? So maybe we can start with Deborah.
I'll give you the short story. I myself grew up around the world, so I'm a serial sort of global mobility, third culture kid. From 0 to 40, basically, I moved every 4 years, countries, languages. But I ended up here, married to a Dutchman who was also a diplomat, was also a diplomat. He's retired. So we moved around as well. But that's what brought me here. I must admit, even though I had lived in many, many countries, spoke many, many languages, my first real culture shock was when I arrived here in the Netherlands. And so it was a huge battle. And I think the lesson I took from it was I wasn't expecting it. As a Canadian, I assumed, things are fairly similar. They're different, but they're similar. But it doesn't matter what the similarities are, the differences always stand out. And it wasn't until I got involved, until I started, running errands and doing volunteer work, that I started to understand the messages underneath the surface. So yeah, I'm a huge proponent of volunteering.
And Ali, what's your story?
I just moved around a lot, and for me, I didn't necessarily have a lot of culture shock coming into the Netherlands. I had more of a cultural acceptance more than anything else, because it was one of the first countries where I felt accepted and I was part of the society from day one. Where I didn't have special regulations applied to me just because I had an Iranian passport.
How is your professional journey began in The Hague?
I kind of met a few people that were trying to start businesses, and I was kind of always in that entrepreneurship space. I haven't had like a real job per se. So I kind of got into the entrepreneurship scene here, and that's kind of how it went.
Deborah, given your experience, what is the fundamental, often overlooked distinction between managing a paid employee and a volunteer? Why can't we simply manage volunteers using a standard task?
That's a big question, but there's a fundamental difference in managing the people who are either an employee or a volunteer. They're all people, so they all have motivations, they all have education, they all have their interests or whatever. What they're doing in a job, though, is with a paycheck, and there's a whole management structure linked to that to ensure that they comply or that you can ask things of them in that setting. A volunteer, and there are many, many countless reasons why people volunteer. I work at Access, and we're a volunteer-run organization. So I can speak with confidence about the volunteers that we work with. What we're providing them with is an opportunity to get out of the house, to have a role, an identity that is disassociated with the reason they may have come to the Netherlands. So as an accompanying partner or love that,
Mhm.
or spouse or whatever, or a student who has stayed. So they're looking for purpose.
Mm.
They're looking for community. They're looking for purpose. And we provide that. So when we manage people, we have to encourage and sustain their purpose.
Mhm.
We have to make sure that they're still learning. We have to listen to what they want to contribute. We have to encourage them coming to the office every day or showing up on a weekend. Or so there's a lot more people management skills.
Yeah.
And there has to be a lot more time and respect for what you're asking. And what we've tried to do together with the colleagues that I work with at the Hague at Access and the team working at the Hague International Center is to make sure that there's always space for other people's ideas. Because a lot of and some will work and some may not work, and some are valuable and some we've tried before, but of course they don't know that.
Right.
So there has to be a process of engagement and learning involved in the process. So it's a much more from the heart, which ideally is how managers should manage paid employees as well. But they have a little bit more leverage and control, which is a wrong word to use, but I can't think of another one at the moment, to manage those people and to make sure that things are done on the right at the right time, in the right order, etc.
Yeah.
So I've managed volunteers in lots of different countries, lots of different places, and the same holds true. It's just connecting, listening, understanding why they're there. Sometimes they come for a hug. Sometimes they come to change the world. Everybody has their own motivation, and it's our responsibility as managers to provide that space for them.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Deborah. And what about you, Ali? So how is, your experience in the world of creatives, for example, in your field?
Well, I think, it gets a little bit tricky there.
Speak to that.
Right. So gets how do I say this in a way that doesn't piss people off? But asking creative people, especially in like world of photo, video, graphic design, etc., to volunteer, you need to ask a few questions beforehand before you ask someone to volunteer, because there are a few things to consider. When you become a photographer, a videographer, any type of creative, right? There's a lot of personal work that you need to do to gain the skills you need to do it. And to simply ask someone to provide it as a volunteer is a lot of time taken as an insult to their skill level. Because a lot of creative people, I see the videographer behind the camera already nodding, like, yeah, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because there's this terrible culture within the creative industry that people do it for the exposure. Right? And fact is, the reason why I'm that good with my camera is that I've spent thousands of hours with that camera. I can operate that camera with my eyes closed because I've spent so much time on it. So the reason why I can do what I can do is because I've spent the time and I need to be compensated for it.
You've put in practice to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that terrible culture, there's that pedigree of do things for exposure that a lot of creative people fear. Right. This is it is a fear.
There must also be a risk, though, because the whole point about creatives is a creative has their way of seeing the world.
Right.
And let's say a creative likes black and white.
Right.
But you're working with multicolor. So you're not going to ask that creative to do this project because there's no match. So you have to cross that bridge as well, respect who they are.
So if you're going to ask someone to volunteer, don't do feedback rounds. That's right. Don't give your opinion. If you're going to ask someone, then at least give them full artistic expression. Right. So there's just there's that pedigree of do things for exposure that has existed for a very long time. That makes it really tricky to ask creative people to volunteer. And I think organizations, people, whoever it is, they need to think twice, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times before they ask for creative volunteering. Because when you create, you're giving piece of yourself.
No, and I must admit, we have lots of different roles at Access, for instance. And at the moment, we have somebody who's doing an amazing creative job. and giving a lot of her effort to us.
I think I can see it from your social media.
Correct.
It's amazing.
But what-
I love the interviews
but
that
what-
you have.
But what's important is hopefully by her having this visibility,
Mhm.
she's also, because she's starting,
Mhm.
is starting to build her own network.
Right.
Right.
So she's taking all of this experience and we're another client.
Right.
The world
Right.
doesn't have to know she's not paid. The point is you still see what she's done.
Exactly.
And so we give her, if not payment, we're giving her the client and we're giving her a chance to rise because she's a starter.
Mhm.
So I think there's a difference
Exactly.
in that level in the world
Yeah,
as well.
and I love that. I can personally relate because I'm a volunteer with Volunteer The Hague and Volunteer The Hague Talks. And I volunteer because I want to build my portfolio.
Yeah.
And to also meet clients in the future or a job employment in the future.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it's not just because that's my end game and my target goal, but at the same time, while I'm doing it, as we speak, I'm loving this.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot. And not just I can bring this or put it in writing in my portfolio or in my resume, but also I can just bring it anywhere.
Yeah.
When I have conversation with my boyfriend
And
or
you're
with
meeting
friends.
people. You're getting out of the
Exactly.
house. And what we
You're
have
getting a
regular
lot.
bottles, the sort of the drinks culture
There's
in the
no English
Netherlands.
word for it.
No, there is no. That's why I tried
What's
to
the word again?
bottle.
Oh, bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing
Yeah,
is,
that's
to see our volunteers say to their significant others, I'm going to a bottle with my colleagues.
Yeah, I love it.
That phrase alone is gold.
Yeah, it's
Because it has
everything.
nothing to do with their agenda. It has nothing to do with children's agenda if there's children. It's nothing to do with the house or whatever. I'm going to have a drink
Yeah.
with my
It
colleagues.
helps shape their identity.
And that's
Exactly.
so for especially for newcomers, it's a way of, getting out and meeting people. And I often say to people who just arrive, go to all the bottles and the coffees and the teas and cakes or whatever. May not be your cup of tea, but you'll meet at least one or two people.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you don't have to go back to those, but you can do something with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely.
I love that we're in this part of the conversation because there's a question from one of our volunteers as well.
Yeah.
How vital is the professional drive for internationals, and how should organizations best acknowledge this motivation?
So my question would be a little bit indirect. So because we don't know whose industry or what the experience is or whatever. What we do know is that people have arrived and don't know the country. We do know the chances of people arriving don't have a network. We do know that people arriving and don't have a network don't know how things work. Those three things can only be answered by other people. They can't, you can pull some things out of a book, but you can only get the experience. And one of the things that we're quite happy at Access anyway, so we may not be able to pay you, but we can provide you with a title. We can provide you with, recommendations from your colleagues. We can provide you with your manager's recommendations that you can put onto LinkedIn. So only people can do those sorts of things.
Right.
So the value of volunteering is other people.
So you're speaking on behalf of nonprofit organizations.
No, generally speaking, because you have to be careful. You have to be careful in the. You don't want to. I don't want to say that you should volunteer in a company where there's one volunteer and it's you, and everybody else is paid. That's a whole other different scenario. So in the nonprofit world or in the social communities, your neighborhood associations, the street party or your children's school, the fair that's coming up, those sorts of environments is what I'm referring to. Yeah.
And I think the professional drive always makes a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
I started, like I said, I started as a volunteer per se. So I needed somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went somewhere, I met someone. Yes, if I can help out, I could help out. He could pay me nothing. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because 6 months later, I did find a business partner.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so one thing leads to another. So that is the professional drive always gets you further, and it's absolutely essential, and it's really needed, whether it's for volunteering to continue as a volunteer or it's to volunteer in order to develop a career out of it.
Yeah.
it's the basis of it.
It is the basis of it. I think what's important, though, as a message to people who've just arrived, very often they'll, ask somebody and they'll say, "I'm looking for a job." That's not what you should be ideally saying, because that gives me nothing. I can't help you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know what you want to do, what your area is. So when people are looking for a work or are looking for a job, the best answer is to link something to what it is you're looking for.
How do you motivate them to
Ask them.
start?
So so it's very interesting, and I would ask Tatiana and yourself, if somebody says, "I'm thinking of volunteering," I'm like, "Why?"
yeah.
Well, what do you do?
What? No, but seriously,
True.
you have to ask why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've had some volunteers who come to us and say, "Thank you for giving me a place to go," and I'm like, "You have things to do. Like, we have expectations. We're not just a coffee table
It's
or
not
a
just
place
gezelligheid.
where you can come." Exactly. So asking questions. "Oh, that's great. You want to volunteer.
Yeah.
What's your area of expertise? What are
Right.
you hoping to achieve? What do you think this will bring you?" Because if it's just to be able to put on your CV, "I volunteered."
Yeah. Well, some of them though are having a hard time to put a word in it. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I do. I like many things.
Yeah.
I work in social media, but I don't really like doing that. So I want to do something else
Yeah.
with animals."
So the thing is that when, for example, you ask people that questions, right? Why do you want to volunteer? What are your expertise? It's not to put people off.
No.
It's not to say, "Are you good enough for volunteering?" That's not, because I can understand a lot of people might read it that way. No, it's not that. It's simply to make sure that the environment that you're coming in is suitable for you, and you are suitable for that environment. Because if you're having a terrible time and you're a volunteer, right? It's a double whammy.
If you've got stress in your volunteering, please resign.
Please.
Right. Yeah.
I'm resigning.
It's the wrong world. It's the wrong world where you've got burnout from volunteering.
No, it's like
because
that.
volunteering is supposed to encourage you.
Exactly.
It's not supposed to burn you out.
You should be doing things that you otherwise cannot be doing as a volunteer, or you should be gaining skills or the network or whatever it is that you would otherwise not be able to, right? That's the only way where you would give your time for free. That's the only reason, right? So when you ask those questions, those are valid questions, and it's not to put people off, it's to make sure that you are a good fit.
There's also, there's an organization in Amsterdam called Serve the City.
Serve the City.
And 70% of their volunteers are internationals.
Wow.
70%. And so in a recent article on Dutch News, they talk about it. And a lot of the reasons, and this was a learning point for me, because most people worked, but they were volunteering on the weekend or cooking meals for the homeless. And there is a large percentage of volunteers who also volunteer because they want to give back. So they have been well received. They have jobs, they have a place to live, and they've been welcomed in the country. And so they want to give back. And they also want to meet the locals. So it's not just the person who's looking for work or expanding their CVs. There's also people who are giving back. And they realize that the other advantages of volunteering are practicing their Dutch, meeting locals, understanding how things work. So, the volunteering community is very diverse and very broad, whether it's locals or internationals. And I think one of the achievements that Volunteer The Hague has achieved over the years, I remember an event years and years ago where we had to convince or help educate local Dutch organizations that they could work with internationals, that it wasn't going to be a big trouble, that most people are learning Dutch, that most people can communicate in Dutch, and having them reflect, okay, you need somebody to help the animals. How much Dutch do people need?
It's actually one of my purpose why I volunteer, because I also want to learn Dutch, or I'm learning Dutch, but then at the end of the day, they always switch to English. Or
yes, so this is a new
speak to that,
challenge.
please.
No. Yes, this is. I speak to Dutch people about this, and they say, oh, internationals don't speak Dutch, and I said, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody comes up to you and speaks to you in broken Dutch, forgets a word, uses an English word, what do you do? And there's a 5-second relay, and they go, oh, I switched to English. I said, yes. Do you know how difficult it is to improve your Dutch when the locals keep switching to English?
It is. Some of our volunteers were also, they also asked, because there were unspoken struggles, if that's the right way to put it. Please correct me. So, Ali, many talented people worry about being asked to do highly skilled work
Mhm.
that pushes the limits of their commitment. So, is there a line?
Well, of
How
course, there's
can
a
a
line. Yeah.
creator set a clear, respectful boundary?
There's definitely a line, and I think the line starts with why you are doing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why is someone asking for a volunteer, and why are you the volunteer for this?
Yeah.
Right. So for example, if I organize a lot of events outside of my business as a volunteer, I volunteer a lot of my own time
Mhm.
for the Hague creators, a lot of the other stuff that I do, and for me, it's the purpose of giving back, right? Building the creative ecosystem of The Hague. That's what I gain from it.
Mhm.
Because if the creative industry in The Hague improves, well, better for me.
Yeah.
Right? Better for me. But there is also that element that I want more creators around because I know the
Mhm.
potential is there. That's a whole long story. But
Mhm.
but that's why I volunteer. So if I organize an event that I don't have money, I'll put out a message and say, hey, I don't have money.
Mhm.
But if anybody wants to, they're more than welcome to come and shoot it.
Mhm.
I'm not putting out a vacancy. I'm not filling in the role. I'm not.
Mhm.
If I don't have anyone, I'll manage.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's those boundaries, right? Whether there is budget for it. If there is budget for it, hire people.
Mhm.
If there is possibly a budget for it, possibly hire people. Right? If there's absolutely zero budget for it, but there is a mission, there is an objective, there is a bigger picture at play, and these material are absolutely needed, then ask for a volunteer, but
Yeah.
then make sure you compensate people properly in
Mhm.
return,
Okay.
whether that's an attribution or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
But also in response to, so if you are the volunteer, so that's from the point of view of opening the opportunities to volunteers. But
Right.
if you are the volunteer and you've been asked or you've signed up to do ABC and you thought it would be X number of hours, but it turns out that it's A, B, C, D, E, F, sometimes G, and it's twice as many hours. There's a problem probably in the role description. So
Mhm.
in the first place, so they anticipated it would be 10 hours, but it's actually 50 hours. But there's also an obligation as a volunteer. The manager should listen.
Yeah.
And so the volunteer should feel confident to have that discussion with the manager.
Mhm.
Because when you sign up for something, you sign up with an expectation. And if that expectation gets out of hand, unless you raise the flag, the person is probably unaware of it. They
Mhm.
may not be used to working with volunteers.
Mhm.
Mhm.
At Access, we have everybody sign a contract, and you have to give us 10 hours a week.
Mhm.
That's what we say. Of course, if you're gone for 3 months, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let us know ahead of time.
Mhm.
But while you're here, we expect 10 hours a week. If those 10 hours become 15 hours, then it's that person's first of all, it's my responsibility to ensure that doesn't
Mhm.
happen. But if it happens because I'm not paying
Mhm.
attention, then the volunteer should have the comfort and the space to say, this is a little bit more than we agreed.
Right. Mhm.
I don't think that needs to be a difficult conversation.
Shouldn't be.
It
No.
shouldn't be,
No.
right? It should simply be, hey, by the way, I've put in too many hours.
Mhm.
You shouldn't feel guilty about it.
Right.
No, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. But at least in the world that I've been working in, a lot of the people who come and volunteer, their self-image is somewhere down here. They've given something up to. So when you first came,
Right.
and you're not doing
Yeah. No,
anything,
I understand. Yeah.
and then if you add to that different cultural ways of communicating, that it can be difficult for them. So that gives an added onus on the management to be aware. And so listen and look for body language. Listen and look for other clues. Because certainly in our world at Access, the volunteers we work with, it's our responsibility to pay attention to some of those things.
Yeah.
Because not everybody will be in a position to say, this is too much. Especially if they are that low in their self-esteem.
Or from cultures where saying no is considered rude.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
And you wouldn't challenge, the boss.
Yeah. So open communication and recognition.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in the Netherlands, it's totally okay to say, hey, this is too much.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's okay for employees to say that, let alone volunteers.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people they have to learn that. If they've just arrived.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to keep going back to that.
It's important to set the context of it.
So if you've just arrived, you don't know that. You've heard about this folder model. Everybody has an opinion and you don't know how it works. We've been here for many years. We know how it works. And you're like, okay, this is
smell like cheese anyway.
This is going to take 3 weeks, not 3 days.
I'm still actually learning the part of, understanding the Dutch directness.
Yeah.
So learning it myself and learning it from them and how they do it and how should I do it, right? So, okay. And Ali, for the skilled professional watching, we're all watching. What is
but especially you, the skilled professional.
What is there a critical framework, or is there a framework they should adopt to ensure their high value skills are respected when offering them to a nonprofit for organization, for example?
Well, I think we went over a few of those, and I think it would be nice for us to kind of come up with a series of questions, right? Is there budget? If there is budget, please pay me. Even if it's small budget, even if it's lower than my hourly rate, it's still something.
I'll let you finish. I'm not sure I would.
No. Hey, let's go.
No. But it also depends because you're coming from the corporate sector. I'm from the business sector.
Right.
So I would.
Not corporate, but
business sector.
Right.
That's why I corrected myself.
Yeah, thank you.
But I'm just thinking if somebody came to Access with those questions, I will disappoint. There's no room for that discussion.
The organization has budgets, but is budget allocated for this? Right.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Right. So when you're putting the budget sheet for an event, do you have budget for a photographer?
Yeah.
And now are you saying, well, let me see if I can save $200 and put it into catering? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but I do think that there's a bit of a difference in this scenario between you coming from the business world and me sitting in the nonprofit world.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. I was just drawing a little bit of a line.
We draw the line here.
We still talk to each other.
No. We're chill, but I get paid to take out a camera. Now, the thing is, we do a lot of pro bono work as well as a company, but then that's part of,
That's part of your own marketing or industry.
Not marketing. It's just part of our, we like organizations. We do pro bono things for them. I haven't put that out on my socials that we did pro bono work for X and X and X. We just did it.
Oh, do you? Okay.
We just did it, and we didn't want them to say anything. But no, I think for individuals, they need to feel good about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is a sort of yes, there are a series of questions you can ask that could guide the situation for you. But then at the end of the day, you need to feel good about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you come back at the end of the day, whether that is sitting in an office making social media posts, or going to an event holding up a banner, or taking photos, doesn't matter what it is. If you don't feel good about it, at the end of the day, you shouldn't be doing it.
No.
Yes.
If you feel taken advantage of, even for the slightest, you shouldn't do it.
No.
Right?
No.
So, and I think that usually, if you feel good about something, that comes from your own things that you're trying to gain. Everybody does things for self-gain,
Yeah.
right? Everybody, right? For self-gain. Now, that may be access to network. That may be meeting lovely people. That may be improving your language. That may be whatever. If you're not getting it, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Step away. Absolutely. Agreed. 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, we've uncovered some
The mystery of
The secret
and
to
we
it all.
drew the line here.
And yet we're still talking to
There's
one
a
another.
space.
We're
Are
very
we now?
Dutch.
Deborah, I just want to understand, as a nonprofit leader, as a nonprofit leader, or for those nonprofit leaders that are listening or watching right now, what is the one essential mindset shift they should adopt tomorrow to ensure they are managing and valuing their skilled volunteers correctly?
The one thing they should adopt tomorrow. Well, I'd like to think that most people already have this if they're in the nonprofit world, which is an open mind and an ability and willingness to listen. As I'm saying this, I'm thinking of a few organizations, not locally, where I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's not true. But generally speaking, yes, I think that's the most important thing. Be open to listen to the people who are coming in to help you, the ideas they might bring, alternatives they might suggest, problems they might be having. So yeah, your ability to listen and to just scale back. Sit back and listen, and not talk all the time. Sadly, and I have been a volunteer in other circumstances, and sometimes there's just a little bit too much talking about what we should do. And the thing is, I always felt I already know what we should do. You know what the mission of the organization is. You know what we're doing. Why are we still talking about it?
So there's just a lot of admiration from behind the cameras. Everybody is like giving their collective admiration to you for saying that.
Yeah, it's so it's there's a lot of leaders who just stop talking, listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Just it could be the tears that come out of somebody's eye, out of somebody's soul. It could be the next great idea you haven't thought of because it's come from across the ocean in a different language through a different venue. So it's come to you in a way that you haven't thought about it before.
I'm a newcomer in The Hague. I'm a newcomer in the Netherlands. Almost 2 years, I would say. I'm still a newcomer.
That's still a newcomer.
There's still a lot of things to learn, And I'm also an international. So I feel really grateful that I have this conversation with you. And, we just keep going.
We just keep going. Absolutely.
So, Ali, maybe this is for everyone, just some final reflection. As a volunteer myself, what is the most important lesson I should learn or we should learn to internalize right now to ensure that I'm contributing successfully and healthy?
Listen to one another. Because at the end of the day, when you volunteer in a community, you're not volunteering on your own. You're joining a community. And in that community, there are people who've been there for a long time. There's people who's been there for a short time. So listen, share. I think would be the best, would be the advice that I would give, because we all have something to learn, always. And the people coming in also have something to contribute, but they also have something to learn. And so if those easy ways of coffee, which is very Dutch, but it is a way to just exchange ideas, listen and get to know each other, ask questions, learn along the way.
Yeah, and I think find your space.
Yeah,
that'll be my advice. And it's okay if some spaces are not your space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? If you're a volunteer or whatever, and you think that, if I can't even fit in the volunteering situation, how am I going to fit anywhere else? No, that's not true. Find your space.
Yeah,
it's perfectly normal if a space is not yours, whether it's a workplace or it's a volunteering place or it's just a community center or it's in your home with your family. For the organizations, and I'm going to say this, being very mindful of the fact that a lot of the clients that I work with are NGOs. So I interact with a lot of organizations who have a lot of volunteers. so I say this very carefully, that organizations need to plan better. They need to plan better. They need to identify exactly what they need volunteers for and recruit people based on that.
Yeah.
Because when you recruit volunteers exactly based on what you need, then you're actually getting people who are motivated to be doing that. You get people who have something to gain from it.
You're creating a team.
You're creating a team. And those people would want to come back. They want to contribute more. There is more of this in the back.
Before we wrap up.
Oh,
Deborah, for viewers who may be new to the city, could you tell us a little bit about the essential work of Access and any immediate events or programs you'd like to share?
We don't organize a lot of events, but our volunteers run the organization, from the help desk team that answers questions the community gives us on anything, the website team, the finance team, the recruitment team. So the whole organization is, I provide leadership, and we have an operations manager, and everybody else is a volunteer. And we have teams that work from the Hague International Center, Amsterdam, in Amsterdam, their expat center in Amsterdam, the Utrecht Expat Center, and Gemeente Amstelveen.
Oh, you're everywhere.
So, almost everywhere. No, so what we do is we provide community, and we will, we approach it very professionally. You have to apply like you would for a job, but we are committed to what we ask of you, and we see lots of friendships growing and blossoming, and people finding jobs, and people getting out of the house, and less tears and more laughter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ali, for those who need high-level creative support or who want to connect with other creators, tell us more about Holland Park Media and your club, The Hague Creators.
I'm not too big fan of talking about my company and stuff like that. If you need creative support, we're there. People who need to know us, they know us, thankfully.
Okay.
And with The Hague Creators, I do it together with Francina. We just try to create a nice environment for creative people to connect. 20 plus events a year, and 600 plus people in the community, on the WhatsApp community, and we just do all kinds of stuff. So if people want to find out about either one, just Google them. And, the information is out there.
Page.
Just be creative, guys.
Just be chat GPT it.
Oh my God. All right. So, guys, for those watching and listening, if this resonates you, don't forget to hit the like button. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying that. Don't forget to hit
and
the
comment and subscribe.
You just did it. Just listen to him. Be creative. And share. And if you have any thoughts or any recommendations to us, feel free to get in touch with us. We have amazing, talented team here. And my name is Laura Linka. This is Volunteer The Hague Talks.